The following episode is brought to you by Poison City Brewing, proud makers of Durban Poison Cannabis Lager, the beer that invites you to live your poison. My introduction to you guys was basically sometime before the lockdown actually hit. And I was super excited because it was going to be an opportunity for me to see you guys playing live and see you guys do your performance here at Pits at the Polo. And I think everyone was, everyone was super bummed that got cancelled because of, lockdown and all that there. I want you guys to walk me through preparations for that Pits at the Polo gig, for everyone who's also a fan who's listening through from Durban and Hillcrest. As we know, Pits at the Polo is usually hosted here. It was going to be the second one, and it was going to be mad epic. So, what preparations did you guys go through when you guys heard that, you're going to be playing Pits at the Polo? Because it's a very well-respected event around this atmosphere.
Well, of course, like with most things that we do, we put all, basically we say anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So when we heard we were playing Pit at the Polo, we said, how can we take this opportunity and really take it to the max? How can we show people that we're going to do this the Marene way, which is, of course, overdoing everything. So we were going to find a way to bring all the Marshall amps, the drum kit, the keyboard, everything from Cape Town to Durban. We were going to make sure that we were able to put on one hell of a lighting show by finding out who does the big lighting and stuff like that in Durban. And then we were going to be in contact with Fireworks for Africa, who we were going to use at Ramfest to actually help us bring some amazing effects and special effects and explosions and things like that to put at the Polo as well. So it was really going to be one hell of a performance and one hell of a show, and definitely something that the people in Durban probably had never seen before on a stage in Durban. So I think we were really going to give the audience at the Polo something really special. And I'm still really bummed at the fact that we couldn't play because I was really looking forward to coming out there. It would have been our first time in Durban. I think that the people in Durban really would have enjoyed and thoroughly. They would have seen us and understood not only why we do what we do, but they would have appreciated it. I think more than cities that get to go and see big shows all the time. You almost never hear of artists going to Durban. They always go to either Johannesburg or Cape Town. And there's just this crowd of people in Durban that are always wanting to see acts like Iron Maiden, like Kiss, like so on and so forth. And I think that for that Durban crowd, we would have been able to give them that type of show. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, my follow-up question to that was actually going to be, what you mean when you say that the Marene way is basically you guys overdoing everything. But I think you basically put it into perspective when you said that you guys are going to go all out, explosions everywhere, fireworks everywhere, lighting and everything like that there. Is this something that you guys sort of had from the onset, when Marene first started out? Or is this something that you guys sort of developed over time?
Well, Marene has always been the type of band where we've said every stage that we play, we're playing as if it's a stadium. Whether it's 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, we play those people as if it's 50,000 people. So every show we play, we give it our all, and we've always wanted to strive to be the band that we never got to see live, and be the band that other people don't really get to see live. So when Marene started, it was really the vision to be, something larger than life. I mean, there's a reason why we say we take artillery to a knife fight, because you really pack a punch.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. And I think even, all the way down to your guys' social media, there's nothing. You look at, how I don't want to compare bands and stuff, but you guys have a very distinctive sort of look. There's this look that you guys have gone for, and it's very original. I haven't seen many bands, down here in South Africa that, take it that far. Usually with bands, it's usually just, a bunch of friends that come through wearing whatever the hell. But with you guys, it seems like there's like a theme that is very much part of your guys' DNA. Tell me a bit more about that. What is your look sort of inspired by, or who is it inspired by?
Yeah, so our entire look is sort of an extension of our philosophy to putting on the show. If you think about it, it's really disrespectful for a musician to get up on stage in front of hard-working, paying fans, paid good money to come and see this person perform live, and the musician or the artist just comes up onto stage like he's just woken up from bed, messy hair, messy clothes, doesn't care what he's looking like. Maybe there's some stains on his shirt or whatever, his pants. It's just embarrassing. It's quite unprofessional. And Tal and I have been involved in the music scene here in Cape Town for some while. And we've always had this thing of, we want to be the band that we never got to see, which is why Marene was started in the first place, like Tyler said. But with that goes the idea of, okay, we've never seen this band, right? So how would they look like? Okay. And if you look at if you look at the international style bands, right? Take for example, Iron Maiden, right? They've got an entire, look about them. Yes, they kind of older guys now, but if you go back to the 80s, same with Judas Priest, it was the leather, it was the bondage gear, it was studded spikes and things like that. It gives the audience, a certain wow factor to behold, and it's also a case of, certain people in the audience may feel like, oh, they'll never be able to pull that off in real life, but by watching and following a musician or someone who does live out that idea, it's a sense of they live vicariously through that person. So it's like, wow, I can just be like that if I try a little bit harder. Or yeah, but another important thing that we focus on when it comes to our look, especially on stage, is the colors. So in the past, we were extremely bright. And I think that's such an amazing thing, because if you compare us to other people that would just go on stage in like these black pants, black shirt, black shoes, like, what are you doing? The stage is lit up with these amazing lights. And here you are blending into the curtains, into the background, or to the stage floor. It just doesn't make sense. And so we said to ourselves, how can we separate ourselves in a way that will make us not only stand out on stage, but stand out from anything that's ever been done before. And with apart from the choreography that we do, it's the whole aspect of, it's like the look that's so important. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell.
I mean, there was once someone I was chatting to that said, look, I know you guys are going to be successful because you guys are worried about what color guitar straps you're using, so I can guarantee that you're definitely looking at the details, and that's where it comes from is we look at the details. I mean, if you're going to go watch a band, majority of bands just stand still. So the lead guitarist will always be on the right, and the bassist will be on the left, the singer will be in the middle, and the drummer at the back, and they don't move. So if you're standing 10 rows, 30 rows, 40 rows out, okay, lead guitarist, bassist, that's how it is. Maybe they move like within a circle in that area, and then they go back to the amp and they turn it up and they come back. They don't move. We move. So at one point in the song, I'll be on the left side of the stage. The other side, I'll be on part of the song will be on the right. Then I'll be behind the drummer. Then I'll be on the drummer. Then I'll be in the front. And same with Ozzy. We're always moving because I like to think of the stage as a portrait, as a painting. And if you go to an art gallery and you just look at a painting, you go, oh, this is great, but nothing moves. And so you just look at the painting, but it's not doing anything. If you go and you watch a live show, you want it to move because you want it to be a sort of like a movie, a moving painting. So the only way that you get to recreate the painting is you move. So when I move from the right side of the stage all the way to the left, all right, I change that painting. And this is one of the main reasons why there's no one ever in the middle of a Marene stage, because everybody is equal. So the singer is all the way on the left, stage left, and the backing vocals are on the stage right. If Ozzy's singing, he'll be on the left. If I'm doing backing vocals, I'll be on the right. This is how we operate. And that just gives everybody the ability to shine. And so basically, when you're standing 40 rows out and you go, oh, where are these, who's who in the zoo on the stage, right? That's what would happen if we weren't wearing our colors. But if I'm wearing purple and I run all the way to the left, people 40 rows out be like, oh, that's Tyler over there in the purple and he's moving. Those visual colors help us to visualize the movement on the stage and to visualize where, I guess you could say, your favorite member of the band is in where in the song, and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, that sort of identification of those colors, not only does it make us bright, it makes us stand out. It creates a uniform. It creates, I guess you could say, a battle gear. Okay, it allows our fans and people to come and watch us to identify where the members are and actually be able to see that, look, we're moving around, we're giving you a show, we're putting on a performance, and we're changing that painting.
This is really beautiful, man. I don't think, like in the history of Sludge, you ever had a band that pays this much attention to detail, and it's clearly working for you guys. I mean, there are a lot of good things that have come from you guys being a band. I saw the other day, on your guys' Instagram there, on your bio, one of the things that's written there is a Standard Bank Silver Ovation Award. Now, for someone who is not familiar with what that is, give us some insights on what that particular award is for and how you guys basically, were able to get something like that and achieve something so great.
Well, so this all started with the fact that majority of festivals, when you go and apply for them, they say, what festivals have you played before? How many have you played before on the form? And when we were quite young and still starting out, we put 0, and then that automatically cancels you out of the freaking, getting into a festival. So I didn't know what to do. And then a friend of mine said, oh, you guys should try the Grahamstown Arts Festival in the Eastern Cape, because, it's still, I guess you could say, still counts as a festival. It's an arts festival, and people there might actually receive you as a theater show. And I said, that's actually a great idea. And so I applied for it to play on the Fringe, which is sort of like not on the main event, but it's just on the side. It's basically, there's this international thing called the Fringe Festivals, and there's one in Dubai and so on and so forth. Anyways, so we applied for that and we got in and we played 8 shows over 5 days. That was what we had to play. And basically what happened is we played a show and they had a representative from the Ovation Award committee come and watch us, and word of mouth spread throughout the committee that they had to come and watch us. And so after watching us play the 8 shows, we're sitting in our little accommodation where we were staying, and we checked the local newspaper, and there in the Standard Bank Ovation Award little advertisement space, I could say, it said Marene for outstanding performance, and I was like, what? And so we were invited to the award ceremony at the National Arts Festival, and we won the Silver Standard Bank Ovation Award. So that was such a big achievement for us, because what the feedback was from us is that we really put on a spectacle, and we didn't just play music, but we combined all of the arts that were present at the arts festival, from drama to music to dancing, choreography. And so for them, we were exceptionally deserving of this award. And when it came back from that, that's when I really grasped the idea that we've got something special for a bunch of, people from all across South Africa that are part of all kinds of different arts, whether it's theater, whether it's music, whether it's, dance. For these mixed amount of people to say that we're something special, that really did hit the, the nail in the coffin, saying, you guys, there's no turning back now, this is it.
And what exactly does it take to sort of play, 8 shows over 5 days? That seems like a really daunting task. How did you guys sort of overcome?
Well, the thing is, what I really suggest people do, if they ever have to get to that sort of level, I suppose, is get lots of sleep. I mean, I remember I planned out a whole schedule leading up to going there, on an Excel spreadsheet, which said you have these hours off and this and that, and that's free time, and we go watch some of the other shows between these times and hours. And it wasn't like that. We didn't stick to any of that stuff, because we would play a show, get back to the accommodation and sleep. And then about 4 hours later, we'd have to go and play another one. So I think we had 1 day off. So we actually played like pretty much 2 shows a day, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. And it really pushes not only your vocals to the limit, but your actual physicality, because remember, we choreograph the whole show. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're going to get a foot to the face. So you have to be not only standing in the right place, but playing the right thing. And when you're on your 8th show, and that's your second show for the day, and your body's aching and your muscles are sore, but you look out into the audience and you say, these people paid good money to come and watch us, that's what gives you the inspiration and the drive to just keep going, put on the show, give them what they deserve. So look, I'm not going to say it was easy. It was difficult because we had to lug all the gear to the venue, set it all up, sound check, play, okay? And then pack it all up, pack all the lights up, pack everything. We brought our own lights, our own amps, our own drum kit, our own everything. And so we had to pack all that stuff up and then pack it out and then pack all that stuff up and then pack it out and then pack all that stuff up, 8 times. So yeah, look, luckily we had a lot of boohoo water and we had a lot of bananas because that's what kept us going.
Yeah, dude, if ever there was a winning formula, man, it makes a lot of sense, and the one thing that you guys mentioned as well earlier, when you were touching on the performance elements and, dressing up and basically not giving people a half-ass show. You guys remind me of another band that we've had on that's actually associated with your guys' manager, Devo. Shout out to him, Deadline, who also go out there and they give people a show. Now, this would be a consistent factor when we're looking at, two bands that are managed by Devo, and both of them just go all out when it comes to performances. Would you say that he plays a certain part in you guys, being, the sort of band that you are when it comes to live performance at all? Or is this more just like, his job is strictly just being the manager and you guys do you?
I think that, remember, we weren't always with Devo. So, I mean, we only started joining up with Devo after he saw us at Winterfest in 2019. And, we'd gone there with 20,000 rands worth of LED screens, plus lights, plus our own sound engineer, plus. Smoke machines, you name it, we had it. Sparklers, thing that shoot off guitars. We had it all there. And David pretty much saw the show. And then he sent us a mail saying, guys, I really love what you guys are doing. I think that, I can do this for you and that for you. And I think that, we'd make a good partnership and team. And we had a meeting with him on Skype. And he pretty much said, if you guys really want to take this to the next level, you got to. And I said to David, look, we're not interested unless, we can get all the way to the top, because that's the way we do it in Marene. It's all go, we don't take our foot off the pedal. So that's when we signed up with David. And, I think it's been the perfect fit because he gets us. And I think he understands what we're trying to do, So it's always great to have sort of, I guess you could say, a 6th member of Marene, because David Reddy is that.
Yeah, I'd actually back that, bro. Like, I completely understand why you guys would have, gotten into working with him, even after you said, it's all or nothing basically, and thereafter everything, went on, smooth sailing and whatnot. Yeah, my experience with him as well has been really, amazing. He scolded me a few times, some of the shitty things that might have happened in the past, and I really appreciate that. Very professional, and I think you guys really are in good hands. So shout out to Devo, shout out to that partnership between you guys. And something that Ozzy actually mentioned earlier in passing, is that, he threw in the word Cape Town in there, being a band, from Cape Town, doing everything from there. What is the scene like in Cape Town? I always like to find out, from musicians that are based from there, or basically originate from there, because you never really hear, or rather when you come from Durban, things that are happening in Cape Town aren't necessarily as in your face as they are, as the things that come through from Joburg maybe. So, from Marene, what has sort of the music scene, been like that side, and how has it been for a band? You guys call yourself basically considered as a flash rock, or you're flash rockers. So how has the scene been in Cape Town for a band that would consider themselves a flash rock band?
So I think, well, before the virus hit the country, Cape Town was a very interesting scene. Me personally, I come from the jazz scene in Cape Town. So I was introduced to the more I want to say underground rock, heavy metal sort of scene when I joined Marene, and it was absolutely a wonder to behold. venues like Mercury would be like the melting pot of the most interesting genres within Cape Town, because I mean, you'd have bands like Ginger from like, and they're like a big international band, come and play.
Mm.
And like you could go out to various venues within Cape Town, and you'll find like amazing bands like the Medicine Dolls, which we're quite good friends with, and they have this fantastic sound that just reminds you of like, sort of like 80s with like a 2000s spin on it. And you've got really hard metal bands as well. So for example, when we played Winterfest, um, we were like Justin Bieber, compared to the other bands there. Because remember those the bands at that festival, when we played in 2019, they were like super hardcore. Like I can't even explain it. Like scary, And here we come with our colorful clothes and bright lights and harmonies, and everyone has a chance to sing and this choreography. Like it was weird, like we didn't expect them to take a chance on us. But shout out to Metal for Africa and Patrick, for giving us the opportunity. And I certainly think that it's because of that chance that they took on us that we are here where we are today. And we had the fantastic opportunity of opening Ramfest in Cape Town last year,
Mm.
and that was just the last high point that we had achieved as a band, because that was a festival for me personally. That was a festival that I dreamed of going to as a kid. So being able to play it was just like, whew, the stars were aligned. And it was at that festival, that if you've never been to a metal festival in Cape Town, like that was the best of the best, because literally the best bands in the entire Western Cape, um, and they came together and they put on this fantastic show, right? And we had a mix from the more, like, I won't say heavy rockers like uh, Francois Van Coke and his band. We had like bands like The Valley, which aren't like really like super hardcore. And then we go to bands like Facing the Gallows and the
Peasant.
headliners. Yeah, Peasant, the headliners from America, Black Dahlia Murder. So I think the scene in Cape Town is really amazing. I think that there's a lot of creativity, and we just need to get back to that point where we could start, like, sharing it with each other at live venues.
Mm. Yeah, the incredible thing is that, you guys have basically, being together as the band that you are as Marine, as you mentioned there, you've played Winterfest 2019, you've even played Ramfest, which is something massive. I think every band or every person that starts up a band, or that's in basically the alternative realm, it's a massive dream for them to go and play Ramfest and a show like Winterfest as well. So you guys have achieved a lot, as a band. And basically, you're at a point right now where if somebody said Marine, they know that we're talking about a dedicated group of musicians. They're talking about heavyweights when it comes to the South African, alternative scene. So basically, with that name in mind, Marine, how did you guys sort of come up with that? What is the story behind that?
When you have a name like Marene, it can mean a lot of things, but I think to the band it means something really special. For instance, if you take a band like Kiss, their name actually stems from the fact that it can be either a kiss of death or it could be a very passionate kiss. And that is the same with Marine. Marine can mean multiple different things. Marine, a lot of people say for them is like, the battle-hardened warriors that go into, fight overseas, the Marines.
Mm.
But for us, it's more on the sort of passionate side, because Marine for me it's the ocean. It's the ocean life. It's the tides. And much like the tides, music is like the ocean tides. Genres and what people like in music, it all comes in and out like the ocean tides. And what Marine really is the next big tidal wave that's going to hit the shore, and it's going to bring back that explosive, energetic show. Because remember, we're flash rock. And what is flash rock? Flash rock is a visual element, which is the flash, with an audio element, which is the rock. And so we are going to bring in the next tidal wave of flash rock. We're going to bring in the next tidal wave of bands that get up on stage and give you your money's worth in terms of performance. We are the band that's going to bring in that next big, wave. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea behind Marene. And yeah, I mean, look, when I first heard the name Marene, and it came to mind, it was like, this is kind of interesting, because it could mean a lot of different things. Of course, we thought about different things, about having something with tides in the name, but I think we eventually settled on Marene because I think everybody knows what Marene is. I think it's one of those things where again, you have your own meaning attached to it. You can either think it's some sort of war hero, or you can think that it's something to do with the ocean life, and that's all comes down to your interpretation of our show. So yeah.
Just wanted to solidify Tyler's point of the ocean life.
Yeah.
That the ocean operates in tides, and we want to bring back that tide of good rock and roll and good showmanship.
No, that makes a lot of sense, bro. It's sort of puts things into perspective as well. And is that something basically that when it comes to the lyrical content and things that you guys actually write about, in the music itself, is it linked somehow to to what you guys just mentioned about Marene sort of being so relatable to sort of anything, or what you make it basically, the Marines out fighting the states on marine life and whatnot? Does that sort of also then translate into your lyrical content and the things that you guys write about, and it being so versatile and whatnot?
I think that the lyrical content comes from pretty much the mentality of the fact that everybody writes their own songs in the band. So any songs I sing, I write. The songs Ozzy sings, he writes. And I write about experiences. I write about good times. So a lot of the time I write about women, because if anyone's ever been with a woman, you know that you're always going to have one hell of an amazing time with them. They're such amazing people, every single one of them. We love women in Marene. And Ozzy, on the other hand, he's writing and that sort of thing comes from maybe somewhere darker. But I think that also is a perfect example of who we are on stage. I'm the front man, I'm the Toastmaster General, if you wish, of the immoral majority, who is our audience. I lead the show through my sort of flamboyance, and Ozzy on the other side is the complete juxtaposition of that. He rolls around on stage, creeps and crawls, and intimidates the audience. And I think that comes through in his writing, like with Bad Intentions, which is, well, Ozzy can talk more about that.
What a fantastic description of our dynamic on stage, Tyler. Thank you very much. So yes, the funniest story that ever happened to me in my life so far was at Winterfest. We had a bass solo, and after the solo, I spat blood on stage, and this entire group of heavy metal people were just like losing their minds, because no one does that, like, who spits blood on stage? And so afterwards, I sang a song called Devil Is You. And that was the most hardcore I have ever seen a room go in my entire life. And I had the privilege of leading them in this head banging church. It was amazing. And so, so in that vein, a song like Bad Intentions of our EP, it's quite a dark song. If you listen to the song, you won't really understand what it's about, unless you really catch it and put it together. But essentially what it's about is gender violence, right? And seeing as though we wrote this, we recorded this EP, sorry, during lockdown, gender violence was a big thing that was happening in our country at the time. So we thought, let's put it to words, and we said, okay, let's put it from a different perspective. So the entire song is about a man who has bad intentions towards a woman, right?
Yeah.
But it's sort of from a critical perspective of the idea that we understand that these people, they need help. They are, something's wrong with them. There's nothing good that they can do. So that was the idea behind the song,
Mm.
and it's quite a dark song, I would think. But that's what's beautiful about the EP, is that um, it's cut down the middle perfectly, because we've got really amazing happy songs, and really, like, sort of, I don't want to say scary, but I mean, like, it's absolutely a stark contrast to whatever the other songs are. So yeah, so that's just the dynamic that we have in the band, and with Tyler and I, that's our dynamic.
Mm. I think that paints a really good picture. What I really enjoy about this chat is that you guys are able to justify everything that you've done so far, and paints a really good picture. I feel like nothing's sort of happened by chance. Everything is sort of deliberate, and I think that's one of the things that's good that you guys have going for you. You're basically focused, on the music that you guys make, and it's no secret that you guys, recently released a single called Something's Out There, and basically released it in February. So tell us a bit more about that for anyone who hasn't heard the song. What sort of went into that song being created?
Well, Oz, I think you're the best person for this.
Uh, Sorry, what is the question? Something wrong with my audio.
Okay, no problem, bro. I was asking what sort of went into creating the song Something's Out There.
Oh, fantastic question. So, something's out there is a great little song about our feelings that we had during lockdown. So, at first, when we heard the news that this virus was coming to South Africa, uh, no one really knew how to react to it. Or we didn't really know, like, okay, what is this thing? How do we deal with it, and how do we move forward, right?
Mm.
So there was something out there, quite literally and figuratively. And, a lot of people were filled with anxiety, panic, sometimes depression. It's just a torrent of emotions. When we wrote that song, we sort of put all of that into words, right? Because we didn't know what to expect, right? Gigs have been cancelled, like, musicians everywhere, it's just, been dropped by everything. And so we said, let's just put our feelings into a song, and boom, there you go, something's out there. And I think it perfectly encapsulates the entirety of the EP, because, like I said previously, the EP is half and half of positivity and sort of anxiety, depression, worry. And something's out there is like this all encapsulating song that I think a lot of people will resonate with, in terms of the lyrics.
Yeah, well, it's not just about, COVID and the pandemic. Something's out there is about anything you're afraid of. It's about, it's taken from the perspective of a child that is lying in their bed late at night. Their parents just, tuck them in, close the door, the lights turned off. And, you think, what's under my bed? What's in the corner? What's watching me? There's something out there that's going to get me. And much like that child lying in that bed, we were that child lying in that bed, wondering what's out there in the dark. Um, at the beginning of March last year. But yeah, it really does not just sit with the pandemic, but also moves into anything and everything that you're afraid of.
It makes a lot of sense, guys. And you did mention there, obviously, Ozzy, that you mentioned the EP, and that it followed after the single, Something's Out There, being the full EP as well, and sort of walk me through the recording process of that, how that came about, because we generally, on the show, a lot of bands come through and they love giving shout outs to the audio engineer, people behind all of that there. So basically, when it comes to the actual audio and production and everything like that there, who do we have to thank for this amazing body of work?
Well, actually, this sounds kind of really, what's the word? Um, Cocky, but I think we have to thank me. 'Cause, I pretty much record. Basically, we had an album that was put on hold because we weren't able to get into the studio to record it, and we were sitting around doing nothing with the band during lockdown, and we'd written this material, and it was just too good to not record. And so what happened was I took some of the savings that I had. Um, and then I built an entire studio room in the spare room in our house. And I put up sound panels, bought monitors, bought some Lewitt microphones. And basically, I ran cabling to my bedroom where we recorded the guitar amps. So we had a full Marshall 4x12 stack
Mm,
in the bedroom with some Lewitt mics in front of it, and then that all ran to the studio room where we tracked it. So we didn't use any sort of simulators, nothing like that, because if you're using too much technology on a recording, you're not making music, you're making a science project.
mm,
So we really did everything analog in the sense of we had real amps, and real vocals. We did it, you know to the max of our ability to really pull off something larger than life. Because I think people are sick and tired of hearing, over polished work. So yes, there are mistakes in our EP. Yes, there are mistakes in the mixing, but that's what makes it real. That's what makes it human. That's what makes it marine.
mm.
And so yeah, so basically we recorded all of ourselves. I mixed about 75% of it, and then you know we brought in Alan Simmons, who is an amazing, amazing audio engineer from Cape Town, very well known in the scene. He's worked with a lot of bands, and he pretty much just helped me fix up one or two things. He helped with the drums and a bit of the phasing issues. And then we sent it off to the UK to get mastered by Akil Carney from Tesseract.
Mm.
So with his Studio 40 sounds. So, you know, and this we mixed it, we recorded it. Yeah, we recorded it and mixed it in about 2 months.
Sure.
So it was, long hours. We had a month to record, a month to mix, master, and have ready. You know, yeah, it was crazy. But once again, you get three types of people in this world: people that put a gun in their mouth, people that put a needle in their arm, and people that roll up their sleeves and get to work. And I really like to think that Ozzy and I are the type of people that when the going gets tough, we roll up our sleeves and get to work. And that sort of work ethic of not taking our foot off the pedal is what sort of gotten us here this far. So why stop? And I think that's what's really pushed us now. We've already started working on the next EP we actually want to put out this year as well. So we saw the success and we saw that people are really hungry to have some more marine. We decided that we will give it to them. So yeah, we started working on a brand new EP, and we hoping to put that out around about October. So
Sure. That is incredible, man. You literally just gave us an exclusive right there. Are you in a position to talk a bit more about that EP that you guys have started working on? I mean, what do you have at the moment?
well, right now, I think we have what's going to be really special about this next EP is so I've got two songs in it. Ozzy has two songs in it. The keyboardist Marene, she'll have her own song in it, and then the lead guitarist has a song. We just need to see whether he's going to sing it or Ozzy's going to sing it. But I think that the next EP is going to have, it's going to have 6 songs in it, so it's a little bit longer and a little bit bigger than the previous one. But that's how it goes with Marine. We got
Mm.
to one up ourselves because when you it's just like boxing. You're not boxing the person in front of you. You're boxing the man in the mirror. You're boxing yourself. And
Mm.
so that's what Marine does. We're up against ourselves, and we're always trying to outcompete ourselves.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that the next EP that we do put out is going to be seriously some of the best work we've ever done. And
Sure.
that's because again, I'll be mixing it with Alan again, and we'll see if Ackle's up for mastering the next one too. But I think that partnership with the three of us is has worked so well with the EP. Why stop? So yeah, the next one is really going to be, I think, something special, especially because I'm going to be getting some new microphones. I'm going to be really upping the I guess you could say expenditure on the next one to really to make it larger than life and bigger than the previous one. So, but that's nothing against the work that we have put out so far. You know, this EP that's out now is still some of the best work we've ever put out. And I highly suggest you give this a listen. You don't stop playing it until October, when of course you can put on the next one. So yeah.
Hey, that is very beautiful, dude. Like the way that you explain it and, the amount of effort that, the three of you have put into it sound in the way that it does, bro. I think even to any listener that hasn't listened to it, bro, it's incentive for them to basically go and, just basically stream it and whatnot. So I'd also highly encourage that people get onto that. Now, guys, just looking at the fact that you guys have been mentioning it yourself as well, lockdown and some of that being an influence as well in the music that you've released, recently. How did you guys sort of cope with that? How did you we obviously do hear it in some of your music and some of the stuff, like you said, bad intentions and whatnot, the struggles that, women were facing and whatnot. And basically with you guys though, as a band, how did you sort of maneuver through lockdown? Because it is something that I don't think any band has experienced or anyone else has really experienced, being locked down, having to stay indoors, not do much, not being able to meet up for band practice and all that. How did you guys ensure that the band actually survived throughout that period?
Well, actually, funny story. When lockdown happened, I bought a whole bunch of PlayStation games and just sat and vegetated for about 2 weeks. And then when I realized that it wasn't going to, go away, I realized I had to put down the controller and pick up an instrument again. And so I chatted to Ozzy and I was like, Oz, how do you feel about doing some covers during lockdown? So we make it a challenge that every week of lockdown we're going to put out a song. We're going to mix it and all ourselves, and we're going to record it all ourselves, and we're going to try and do our version of this song. So we started off when we did Love Song by The Cure. And then from there, we went on to do some other songs like Vanilla Twilight by Owl City. We did Even If She Falls in Love by Blink 182. We did All L'amour by Erasure. So we did Jethro Tull. We did some more Cure. We did some Kiss stuff. So every week we were putting out something new, Dire Straits, so on and so forth. And it was awesome because it was music that we never get to do much. I mean, flash rock, we don't really get to play, Jethro Tull sort of progressive hippie rock from the 60s. You don't get to play punk rock, Blink 182. We don't get to play electro dance like Erasure, So it was, and especially, Vanilla Twilight by Owl City, Owl City being a modern artist. So we never really go into that territory. So during lockdown, it forced us to be, better musicians. And also it forced us to, play and sing and, record music that we've never done before. And so that's how we sort of were pushing the envelope. And surprisingly enough, that's what really led us to do the EP, because I said, we've been doing all these covers. I think we did like 12 or something like that. And it was a case of, we've done 12 of these songs. I've had so much practice. I feel confident enough to record an EP for the band myself. And that's what sort of led me to actually ditch the headphones and the one microphone and actually build a proper sort of studio type thing, So yeah, I mean, Ozzy, you probably can chat from your side regarding the recordings during lockdown that we were doing.
The recordings, like Tyler said, were a challenge. So instead of just sitting and doing nothing, letting our talents go to waste, I think it was such a great thing to do, because it led us to record the EP. And I know I started to learn a lot more about mixing at the time. Tyler was actually used to help me learn, and through that process, he learned a whole lot more as well. And so I think sooner or later, the more we do this, we'll be able to maybe put out an album ourselves. But yeah, at the beginning it was quite a challenge, because of course I wasn't prepared for this, so recording was quite difficult. But yeah, we made a plan, and we got a lot of positive reception to it. So I think it was just, one of those cases where it's like, you're gonna sit in your hands and do nothing, or you're gonna, make something that will last forever.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, it's really it's a beautiful story, man. Like especially the parts where Tyler was just saying that initially, like for the first 2 weeks, he just whipped out the PlayStation game and started jamming. What were you playing, bro? Just before you even move on.
Dude, I got my first platinum trophy during lockdown. That tells you everything you need
What?
to know. Yeah, so dude, it was on the amazing. I was on the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game. So that was yeah. I was super chuffed with that. I was playing Uncharted 4, the Spider-Man. I finished Doom 2016 finally.
Wow.
So yeah, finally, I didn't have to go to work and then go to band practice, then go to this, and go to that thing.
Yeah.
Because being in the band is a lot more difficult than you think. Because to be a front man, you can't sit there with your beer book. You actually got to do something about it. So, I gym twice a week. We do vocal lessons. We do band
We all
practice twice a week as well. Plus, normal, well, for me, it's 7:30 till 5, working hours
Yeah.
in my job as a sales rep. So when I'm not driving, I'm working out. When I'm not working out, we're playing music. And when we're not playing music, we have vocal lessons. So every day, as a member of Marene, I get home at 8 p.m.
Sure.
So that tells you everything you need to know. We live such busy lives,
Mm,
and that's because we love our craft and we love what we do. If anyone ever says, "Oh man, I hate being a musician,"
mm,
rather don't be one. Because you got to love what you got to do, and you got to sort of love to better yourself as a musician, and you got to be able to put in the time because that's the only way you're going to get something out.
this is very beautiful, man. I love the way you explained it. Before, I mean, we're almost at the end of the show, obviously, and I just want to touch on another point that you actually mentioned earlier. We do know that you might be releasing the EP or the next EP in October. Still early days because you guys, the recent one that you guys dropped, like literally dropped like last month. But I really want to know. You mentioned that you guys had an album that you guys had to sort of put on the shelf because of certain circumstances and whatnot. When can we expect that to come out?
Oh man, I think it's like with most things, an album is such an expensive thing to put out.
Mm,
And when you put that out and it's a culmination of all your work and you're working with some serious producers and you're working with serious gear and really putting out something that is the next level, I think you don't want to waste that on, just releasing it digitally and just leaving it there.
mm,
We want to tour this. We want to take it out. We want to really make something of it. And so we can't really do that under the current constraints of lockdown. So that's why we're putting out these EPs. It's something that we can do. It's something we can still put out good quality, maybe not the next level of of work that you would get when working with massive producers. But it is still something that I think is a notch above what comes out of EPs a lot of the time.
yeah.
So yeah, we really wanted to wait until the right time to put it out where we feel as though we can go out there and actually play it and actually perform it. But the songs that make up the album, are safe songs, I guess you could say. It's songs that people know from us. It's songs that when you come and watch us live, they're going to be in the set list.
Mm,
And that's the songs on the album are a culmination of 3-4 years of writing songs, playing songs live, and seeing whether the audience loves them or not.
yeah.
So the album is really going to be one hell of a bang for your buck. But that's what makes the EP so much more scarier to put out because we've never played this stuff live. We don't know what the reception of these songs are going to be. But that's what I guess you could say makes it so cool as well as when you put it out and people love it.
Mm,
I mean, I think the most surprising thing for me is the reception that we've had for the synthwave remix that we've done. We've taken one of our songs and we said, I think the songs, which is Something's Out There, would work amazingly as a synthwave remix. And so I got in touch with a guy named Gated Reverb. That's his little artist name. He's
mm,
from Norway. And he made a whole
nice.
bunch of synthwave remixes of Justin Bieber songs and a whole bunch of other artists as well. I got in contact with him. I was like, dude, I love what you're doing with these artists. What do you think of doing a remix of this song? And he absolutely loved it. And so he remixed it and he put out, Something's Out There synthwave remix, which is number 23 on the Mix FM charts right now in Gauteng, and that's amazing. It debuted at number 23, so we're super proud of that.
Yeah, that is really nice, dude. I think it would actually be fitting for us to close off with that synthwave remix, actually, when we do get to the end of the show. But obviously, before we bow out, do you guys have anything that you guys want to? I mean, we obviously know what's coming up with you guys and all that. With the next EP. Looking at an October date, gigs. Are there any gigs that are coming up? I know that we are under level 1 at the moment, so people have been booking gigs and doing all that. Can we expect to see you guys heading out anytime soon?
Well, let's just say that Marene has been making our way back to the Marine warehouse for rehearsals twice a week. And we've started putting together a new show, which involves some new songs from the EP. So let's just say that there's something in the pipeline, and I'm sure we'll announce something soon.
Hey, that is really dope, guys. So, parting words to, I think you referred to your fans as the immoral majority. I think you said earlier. So, yeah, what do you guys want to say to them? Any special a special message that you guys want to send through? This is your chance.
Yeah, I'd first of all like to thank David for setting up this fantastic meeting. Absolutely enjoyed the shout out to him. Secondly, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has listened to the EP and everyone who has bought the EP. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And thank you so much for the support. We really feel it, especially for to have 2 songs in the top 40 chart. That means a lot. So thank you so much, Tyler.
And as always, Marene loves you.
Hey, that is epic, guys. Thank you so much for having a chat with me. Thank Diva as well for setting this up. It wouldn't be a thing without him. And obviously, guys, if people want to get in touch with you and all that, what are your social media handles?
You can follow us on Facebook as Marene Band. You can follow us on Instagram as Marene_live. And you can find us all over all the streaming platforms, Apple Music, Deezer, Spotify, Tidal, whatever you listen to, we're on there, and we're ready to blow you away. All you got to do is plug in some headphones and get ready to meet your maker.
Woo! Fire promo right there, Tyler Brew. Well done. So we're going to be closing out with some things out there. The synthwave mix, currently doing really well, in the airwaves. Before we close out, obviously catch our episodes on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We are Sludge Underground Podcast on those platforms, and on Instagram at Sludge Underground, on Twitter at Sludge031, Facebook at Sludge Underground. As for myself, it's at Zwane031. Cop that merchandise, guys. It's down in the link below, or rather below the description of this episode. And guys, working together with Casual Sex, so shout out to them. And I once again want to thank Marene for coming through to the show. I really enjoyed chatting to Tyler and Ozzy today. Learned a lot about you guys, and I really hope that the listeners as well learned a lot about you. So until next time, guys, it is bye for now.
We're good.